We're underway from Dr. Pepper Arena as Alex Stevenson wins the tip over Brandon Ashley. As the visiting team energy in the white uniforms. The Legends, of course, at home wearing a different uniform every time, with proceeds from those uniforms going to a different charity every game. Well, the All-Star Stevenson going to work on Sting, and he gets the little runner to go in the middle of the lane, and we might see them go to Stevenson a lot with Tottenham Sting matching up against him.
Half court.
Holloway, Ashley, corner three ball, and that's offline. Rebounded by the Energy, and of course we just mentioned the best defensive rebounding team in the entire D-League. This is a team that likes to run their offense in the half court. They don't go out in transition too much. Martin, elbow jumpers offline. He's one of two Energy players on assignment from the Memphis Grizzlies, their affiliate. James That's
Ashley. What he does.
Three ball, that one just misses. Stevenson the rebound. This first quarter of D-League action brought to you by Central Kia. As the Energy in the half court. Stevenson with his back to Singh, now facing up. And you can see Fish there. They're trying to double him to help Singh out a bit. This is not an Energy team that shoots the three well. That three-point attempt missed by Wisnett, and that allows them maybe to give Murray. Nice give and go, and the floater goes. Thought about the three. It turned into a nice little give and go with Holloway.
And that's part of flow, which is absolutely not just reminiscent, but a mirror image of what Rick Carlisle's Mavericks do. This playbook is now that playbook, and you'll see this a lot. You don't see the point guard holding up flow offense.
Texas native.
Not just reminiscent, but a mirror image of what Rick Carlisle's Mavericks do. This playbook is now that playbook, and you'll see this a lot. You don't see the point guard holding up flow offense.
Texas native Andrew Harrison with the basketball, one of the Harrison twins, and Charlotte for a little bit. He was just sent down on assignment to the Oklahoma City Blue.
Corner three, I'd just like to touch on what Mr. Fisher had to say in regards to that flow offense, because given the nature of the roster with the Legends currently, it can cut two ways. It can go really well for this team in regards to just flowing and playing basketball and dealing with the addition of Stephen Pledger, who hasn't even had a chance to practice but twice with the team. Or it could go horribly wrong, and we're early in the stages of things, and it seems to be going okay thus far. But that flow offense relies on a lot of chemistry.
World, if Singh hits in any way. And that's one of the reasons, in addition to whatever level of prospect he may be, that the Mavericks did indeed draft him in the second round.
As Ashley knocks them both down, the Legends lead by 3. Stevenson high post. Martin going hard to the hoop, can't get it to go, and Murray the rebound. The Legends pushing the ball out in transition. They don't have numbers though, so Murray will hold it around the perimeter. He played a prominent role for Bo Ryan's ball clubs that made some deep runs, including one of the NCAA title game recently.
Now, you agree with me?
Yeah, I would say so.
But Jimmy, I could swear, was listed at 6'4" and looked huge.
Yeah. Well, when you're next to guys like Tottenham Singh and Alex Stevenson, that might change things a little bit. As high flying for the rebound, Singh and Stevenson battle, and a big win there for Singh against the All-Star Stevenson. He really muscled that one.
The bodies are different, and right now the bodies are short, just 8 guys here tonight. But I do think, I think guys like Wilson are important to that. I think Michael Eric has been important to that. Wilson is probably the guy who's had to give up the most when the Mavericks assign guys. And then next thing you know, Wilson's not starting, and sometimes he's not even front of the rotation. By the way, no Mavericks assigned tonight as
cuts the Legends lead back to 2. That was James Ennis who knocked down the 3.
And he may be exhausted, and I bet you he sits out now for a few. But the Singh thing was effective enough. They got through it. Congratulations.
Grilled cheese was good, by the way. You're going to have to try
I think
some.
I'll try one. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody over at Ruthie's Rolling Cafe for that, by way of trade.
You know, we talk about go-through and go-to guys, and it's not very often that you see a big, bulky center be a go-through. But Stevenson is that for Iowa, which, by the way, has enough talent that it's a little shocking that that they're in the basement in their part of
They just haven't been able to seal the deal. A lot of fourth quarter slides for the clock. The Legends here, he's 2 of 2 from the field. Both of those makes threes. He's also gone to the line, making 5 out of 6 free throws.
And he ran that possession well enough. Legends just ran out of time, but you know the shot clock violations, 2 out of 3 possessions, give credit to the other team. That's what they do.
Martin right down the paint, unable to get it to go first time, but tips it in with a second chance. Murray, nice find, tips it in with a second chance. Murray, nice find. Miller with the ball hanging on the rim, gets it to drop through the cylinder.
And you know, Jared, that doesn't count as fast break points. It's after a made basket, but that was fast.
Yeah, a lot of quick possessions for the Legends. Murray knocked for the foul there.
That won't show up as anything in the scorebook, except that was all, but that was fast.
Yeah, a lot of quick possessions for the Legends. Murray knocked for the foul there.
That won't show up as anything in the scorebook, except that was almost a fast break after a made basket.
Jackson lines up a 3, and the southpaw knocks it down. So the Energy with the lead. They're now up 33-31 in our scoreboard this quarter, brought to you by the fine folks.
The Legends will, here in the next 24 hours, scramble and go try to sign themselves a center, and then they will certainly hope that on Friday, when Jared Sandler and I have that telecast, that there's a Salah Mejri sighting down here. That won't be the case on Saturday, when Rick Carlisle will take Mejri and Justin Anderson on the road with the Mavericks.
3 ball, Pledger can't get it to go, and he's struggling in his home debut for the Legends. Pledger now 0 for 3 from behind the arc. The Legends is a team 4 of 10. Harrison passing to no one in particular, and it's going to give it to the Legends. And back in
the game and is on the job training, then that's upon the job training, then that's a positive.
Now Singh also gave them 3 fouls, and he's got to stay out of foul trouble if he wants to play extended minutes here tonight. Miller turned away by Martin. Jackson leading the break. And a baseline jumper knocked down by Wright. The Legends wanted steps on Jackson. From what you've seen out of Satnam Singh this year, Fish, do you see a guy that can make an impact defensively?
I think he's a long way from that. It's just, and I talked about this with Nick Van Exel before the game, it's just really a challenge for a guy of that size to do 2 athletic things at once. And I'm not trying to do the, chew gum and walk at the same time thing, but for Satnam Singh to shuffle his feet and to reach out and try to block a shot, he just hadn't done any of that, not in games.
Let's send it over to Travis Blakely, see what he thinks about Satnam.
Fish, I couldn't agree with you more. And in Satnam's case, I want to draw an analogy as a foul is called here on that drive by game and the mental side of the game at the level that is in between high school and the NBA. So
got ruined when they called them the Sox, and that was 100 years ago. Because it's not a singular, it's not a plural, it's not an anything. It's not even a word.
Well, then what about, then you get, like the Mavs tonight play the Heat.
Yeah, that's like the Energy.
Yeah.
It's confounding.
It's all science. Ennis lines up a 3, back rims it, and Singh with the rebound.
Murray and 2, they're certainly highly regarded by NBA people who are watching this roster and wondering who deserves a call up, who could come help me in practice. So both those guards, I think, have really been terrific keeping this team running.
Well, and Holloway especially leading the team with 20.4 points per game. If you exclude Justin Anderson, who's played only 6 games, over 6 assists per game, he's really been big for them.
And Jared, it's a great point, because in watching him, now I've seen all the shoot first point guard. And he'll go get you 20 points.
Right. And as I was talking him up, he turns it over. So Stevenson spinning and finishing in the lane. I'll tell you what, Fish, I got to see a lot of him when he was at USC, and his offensive game is something that's really developed over the years. It was
at it now, and he victimized Singh, except what he did on the offensive end against Singh. And I bet you Nick Van Exel and this staff sits down with Singh and watches film of this game and says, hey, that's not your fault. There's nothing you could do against that. There's NBA centers that wouldn't have been able to stop that any better than you did.
Travis Blakely, the third member of our team with us. Travis, anyone else you think? Travis Blakely, the third member of our team with us. Travis, anyone else you think should have gotten all-star consideration outside of the two who are named, Michael Eric and Brandon Ashley?
Well, Mike Fisher has already declared me a bigger homer than himself in broadcast past. So, you know, I'm not going to throw additional names out there. But, you know, you brought up a great point earlier today, Jared. And that was the fact that you look at the all-star list and then you look at the prospect list, and they don't really, not going to throw additional names out there. But, you know, you brought up a great point earlier today, Jared. And that was the fact that you look at the all-star list and then you look at the prospect list, and they don't really line up. And
who aren't on the prospect list.
Right, there doesn't have to be any correlation between who the NBA thinks is the best prospects here and who's playing well enough to be in the all-star game.
Now we'll go to the third member of our crew, Travis Blakely. Travis, how does the so Jarrell Martin, of some of the prospects we talked about, might actually be the best prospect in the bunch. First round.
75 seconds left in the half. Is tiny little mental errors. What just happened there is the ball was almost going out of bounds, so the Legends are falling out of bounds and looking for somebody to throw it to. They looked into the backcourt to Wilson, and he hadn't made it across center court yet.
Of having only 8 guys and having a team that
was almost going out of bounds, so the Legends are falling out of bounds and looking for somebody to throw it to. They looked into the backcourt to Wilson, and he hadn't made it across center court yet.
Of having only 8 guys and having a team that's built to push the ball, and it's not that they're just built to push it, they're not really built to play the slow half-court game. So man, it's kind of a double-edged sword there, Fish.
You know, and you throw on top of that the all-star Brandon Ashley. The energy team slows you down, they grind on you, and they grab defensive rebounds. And they're doing all those things tonight here in Frisco.
As Holloway knocks down a couple of freebies. See if the Energy play for a 2-for-1. They do as Ennis hoists up a 3. It's long.
Oh, my.
Oh, Wilson with the bad pass, and it's turned over. And the Energy are going to pull it out to try and get a good shot, not necessarily an early shot. Make it tougher on the Legends to get a possession. 3-second difference, game clock to shot clock. Ball in the hands of Harrison. Swings it to Wisnett. Shot is short, and Ashley the rebound. 4 on the clock. Holloway with time hoists it up, and it's going to go out of bounds with this. Ashley scored 29 points. This is a guy that has the ability to really control the game offensively. Out of Arizona, Ashley has experience playing against some tough competition in big games, and the Legends really like what he brings to the table for them. As Martin's able to finish out of LSU, speaking of some college programs that have produced some big names.
Took that big Euro step to get there, didn't he?
They teach that in Baton Rouge. As Holloway knocks down a 3.
You know, and we're putting a lot of offensive pressure on Brandon Ashley. He can live up to it. But there's a total of 4 guys on the floor right now that can go and score 15 points in this half and fix this.
Well, Jameel Wilson just about did that in the first half. He scored 14 points, leading the Legends. Andrew Harrison short on a 3. He's leading all scorers with 17 points after going a 3. He's leading all scorers with 17 points after going 4 for 4 from deep in the first half. You talked about it early. You know, one of the reasons why the Energy are such a good defensive rebounding team, it seems like they're always in the right position.
Right.
Doing a good job getting that spot on the block, boxing out. As Martin knocks down the shot, they're going to review it. C.J. Washington giving the signal. They're going to Murray, and Ashley knocks down the bunny.
I like the confidence, though, out of Satnam Singh to kind of give it a shot with Alex Stevenson on his back. Stevenson doubled. Nice pass. They kick it out, Harrison. Short on the three. He chases after his own rebound, and lucky break because Martin was there. He just couldn't quite corral for part of the team that went to the finals in 06. You see the Legends pushing it.
Trying.
Even on an out-of-bounds entry, Wilson, three ball, can't get it to go, and Martin two-handing the rebound.
You know, when you see Salah Mejri bounce up and down and then suddenly go up with the Mavericks and have a number of successful stints, that's very much due in part to the work of Ganajap down here.
And it's going to be out of bounds off of Holloway. He's saying that it was...
You'd like to get it. You wouldn't think it would make such a big difference, but the scoreboard's right in your face. Every trip, both ways. And there is a difference psychologically between 10 and 7. Feels different.
Singh going for the block, doesn't get it, and Stevenson with the putback slam. And there's another turnover as Murray throws it to Nick Van Exel. Back in his day, he might have been able to us during Legends broadcasts. And our third quarter question comes from Aaron. He wants to know, can the Legends bring back the energy coming off the 5-game road trip and into this 4-game homestand?
Well, the answer so far is no.
As Harrison with a crafty move to get the easy bucket.
They've been outplayed. They've been out-energied. Pun intended. Pun intended.
Holloway spinning, and he shows off his moves. Harrison on one end, Holloway on the other. Both very good college point guards doing it here tonight.
That road trip was a bonding experience, and he went 3-2, so it's successful in that way, but it is exhausting. It does take it out of you. You do have tired legs, and here you are trying to run, and
point guards doing it here tonight.
That road trip was a bonding experience, and he went 3-2, so it's successful in that way, but it is exhausting. It does take it out of you. You do have tired legs, and here you are trying to run, and you only have 8 bodies.
And sometimes when you come off a road trip, it's that first home game that gives you trouble because you're still readjusting then to being at home. You hear coaches talk about that a lot, that you expect seeing a guy, speaking of hitting his stride, Brandon Ashley knocking down the three. He's got 7 points here in the third quarter.
You know, when I check in every day with G-Bag Nation on 105.3 The Fan, Gavin Dawson always makes fun of me because I want to talk so much about the psychology of sports. But it's absolutely pivotal what you're saying about the first game back into town. You see it in baseball on what they call getaway day. Getaway day. And there's lethargy that goes along with that. If you can overcome that, the teams that overcome that end up winning titles.
Holloway sneaking between 2 defenders, unable to get the ball down through the cylinder. A nice move, though, and he's really shown a commitment to attacking the bucket. 21 points for 2 Holloway here tonight. Stevenson trying to draw a foul, unable to do so, and it's second quarter.
They are in attendance. Elvis Andrus is at the Mavericks game, and so is Johnny Manziel.
Well, sir, I don't know that Johnny Manziel's a hero of mine. Are they together? Tell me they are not together.
I don't think they're together.
Okay, good. It's the last thing that Elvis Andrus needs. Lob attempt. Stevenson comes down with it. Off the glass, no good. Ball batted around. Ashley's got it. The Legends with numbers. Murray behind the back, and it's deflected and stolen. Wilson doesn't get it to go, and the energy and the third with a bang. A 12-point lead after the
make that. Certainly, he's a difference maker for this team. Someone else who contributed to the team this season was Justin Reynolds. A lot of Legends fans out there, both on Twitter, various social media platforms, and here in person tonight are asking.
He has what's considered a really bad turf toe. It ended Deion Sanders' career. Right now, hopefully he can
head on back to the bench, take care of our guys, keep them healthy for us.
Let's go, Legends.
Jared, over to you, my friend.
Thanks, Travis. Alongside Mike Fisher, Jared Sandler here with you. The energy leading the Legends 87-77. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. And Fish, we heard Dr. Glogow talk about Michael Eric, saying he might be available this weekend. After watching the first 3 quarters of the Legends tonight, it is even more apparent than before the game started how badly this team needs Eric and just a little bit more of a...
It's about tonight. It's a little bumpy and it's a little nudgy and it's physical, and when the Legends go into the lane, they get knocked around a little bit and they need calls they're not getting, and that's a big reason they're down 10.
Martin feeding right back to Martin, but he never quite had control, but he will get the foul called, which would likely send the ball to the line. 87-70 around on a screen, and they're going to call him for the contact.
And the Legends lose.
And they really haven't been able to get out in transition the way they'd like here tonight. Martin faces up and knocks it down.
No, they wanted to be the tortoise and the hare tonight.
Seen a little bit wide. Jarrell Martin was a first. Parks with a 3 from the corner. No need to review that one.
Well, now look at the pace. Look at the pace and look at the score. It's changed in 60 seconds.
Harrison almost throws it away. Does he? Oh, he does, as Miller gets it, and they call the foul on Ennis.
Activity between San Antonio makes sense.
Looky here, the Legends are down by 1. And they might have even just tied the game, Fish.
It'd be kind of nice to know.
I know.
But this is the rules world we live in.
You talk about the whole psychological thing, a tie and down 1, 2 different deals. Right with Murray on his back. And a nice job by Murray wrapping around to knock it free, but it goes out against the left.
And even got the foul called.
Here's Pledger, and he knocks it down. A 3-pointer for Pledger, and he has caught fire here in the 4th quarter. That's potentially his 3rd 3. One of those 3 is under review. And the Legends with the lead. Their last lead was 39-37 in the 2nd quarter. They're hungry for more.
And the elated look on Brandon Ashley's face is worth he would have a chance to be this team's Dirk Nowitzki. And he's had to make so many sacrifices to make it work. But I watched Brandon Ashley take such great pleasure in somebody else's success. That's an unselfishness, and that's a leadership. And
Senator for the Energy, who leads the D-League, averaging just under 14 boards per game.
That's an unselfishness, and that's a leadership. And
Senator for the Energy, who leads the D-League, averaging just under 14 boards per game. He's a force down low. Try to make a bullet pass there to Wright. 4 on the shot clock. 3, they got to get something up. Oh, and Miller bails him out. A little too aggressive there by
semi-non-ball handler out at midcourt. He certainly didn't look like a ball handler.
Try to make a bullet pass there to Wright. 4 on the shot clock. 3, they got to get something up. Oh, and Miller bails him out. A little too aggressive there by
semi-non-ball handler out at midcourt. He certainly didn't look like a ball handler. Almost turned it over 3 times.
And he ball handles his way to a turnover right there.
So it works out.
3 leading the Energy to USC. Wilson started at Oregon before ending his career at Marquette. We take a look at the free throw discrepancy percentage-wise. The Legends 84% tonight. The Energy just under 65%. As Martin draws a foul, he'll get a chance to shoot a few free throws. I got out here early to say hi to him.
I should have been talking to Jimmy Jackson's kids.
The Legends will shoot the rest of the way as well. Holloway to the bucket, high off the glass, and it bounces in and out. Trees really can make that clear path close quickly when they pursue you from the backside like they did there, Holloway.
And Holloway, de facto point guard, and he gets things triggered, and then it eventually goes through to Holloway.
Mid-range jumper, shorts. Andrews the rebound. Chance for the Energy to pull within a possession.
Last couple offensive possessions for Texas, not setting up a man in the corner.
Lob, Andrews, and he gets it to go even though he didn't really finish the dunk. He struggled to finish alley-oops, but he was able to get that one to fall.
Diving, and the 4-footer doesn't go. As he had Wisnett at his mercy, he just couldn't finish. We really haven't seen much on the floor from Terry Wisnett because he got in early foul trouble. He's only played 8 minutes. But he hoists up at 3, no good. Pledger the rebound, and here come the Legends hanging on to a 1-point lead.
I mean, for the benefit of the Legends.
Oh, okay, of course. 5 on the shot clock. Holloway looking inside Ashley, gives it to him with 3 on the clock. Falling away from the baseline, and he misses off the front iron, so the Energy with the ball. Harrison lobbing, Andrews getting some looks here late, and the putback slam by Martin, giving the Energy the lead emphatically.
Yeah, 5 Legends didn't find 5 bodies there.
C.J. Washington tosses it in the air, and the Energy will get the first possession of this 3-minute overtime period.
Now, Travis Blakely mentions the Legends getting good looks. That's different than easy looks. Because easy looks would be above the rim, at the bucket, uncontested layups, but none of that.
Martin too strong off the glass.
Ooh.
Rebound fought for, and Jackson gives Wilson a bit of a
From Wilson and a great kind of leadership ability there to send him on that shot. Very self-aware and very aware of the court itself as well.
Pledger couldn't get that magnet to connect from the corner, short on the 3.
That's terrific, Travis, because remember, this is the Dallas Mavericks Rick Carlisle playbook. So you have designated roles and designated spots on the floor, and kind of like in footwear science, and it just can't be done.
Legends ball out of the review. That gets some space. Jumper is short, rebounded by Andrews.
approaching the 1-minute mark. Harrison crossing through the lane. Jackson, no-look feed to Andrews, who lays it in. Jackson looked to the right block. He delivered to the left block. And this game's tied up with 50 seconds left. Gotta believe the Legends with their short bench don't want another overtime, but they'll do whatever it takes to win. Trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Ashley down low, goes up, no call, rebound. Harrison, here come the Energy. Feeds, Harris goes up, he's blocked. No call on that end. Pledger with numbers gets tripped, no call. Oh, there's a call late. There was not. Harrison, the floor general for the Energy.
There's 75 seconds left in the game. How many more possessions are you going to get? They're golden.
That's a one-possession game right now. The Energy can make it 2 possessions with a bucket. Martin goes baseline, up, and can't finish the dunk, but a foul's called. Didn't have enough energy to finish with 2, but he'll go to, no matter the case, 2 free throws by no means.